to the stream. Okay, we're back here on Restream today. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. We're going to be on here today. We're having a little issues with the sportscaster video, so once again we'll be on here temporarily until we get the sportscaster video stream back up resolved. So once again, thanks for joining us. Here we'll have the LSU preview, LSU versus Florida this coming tonight, 6 p.m. We'll have the previews for you. We'll have the coaches press conferences. We'll have Will Wade. We'll also have Mike White, the coach of the Florida Gators. So let me see who's on Facebook to make sure everybody is on. I'm back on here today, but we're not gonna but we're let's see if we're on. So if you see me, let me know. Send me a comment through the I don't know if it's on. Wait for it to send data. I don't know what's going on. So we're gonna have to see if we can send data. So we're once again we're on Twitch and Periscope, Facebook. I don't know if Facebook will get us on there. So okay, let's go ahead and begin with today's show. I'm gonna have the Will Wade press conference up first, and also we'll have Coach Mike White, the coach of the Florida Gators, and we'll preview the game. So let's go ahead and have Mike White on. Let's see if you're on YouTube. Anybody on YouTube, let me know if you're on here. I don't know if we're on Facebook. Let me see if we're on Facebook. I don't know if we're on the Facebook side. Let's see if we can send a signal to Facebook. So let me go ahead and play this press conference for you. We're on Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube for the YouTube audience, and also Periscope, Facebook's.
At the beginning of the season, Florida was pretty inconsistent in a lot of areas. What have they done?
Well, I think everybody was inconsistent. We were inconsistent. Everybody was inconsistent. I mean, it's tough. You know, what Coach White's done, he's done a heck of a job. He had, you know, you look at their roster, they've got Blackshear starting, who's a fifth-year kid who you know just came over from Virginia Tech. They're starting Omar Payne now, who's a big-time player, just a great kid, and they're starting two bigger guys. You know, Lewis, the freshman, is a tremendous talent, but it takes some time to adjust. Welcome, Scott. I'm answering Sheldon's question. So, but Lewis, it takes time to adjust. You know, obviously they had Nimhard back and Locke and Johnson, some of those guys, but just had a lot of new pieces. Glover, the freshman point guards, played well for him. So it's just, you know, it's tough when you've got new pieces trying to learn different offensive system, defensive system, and I think they've just grown as the year's gone on. They've become more connected, more together. I think the ball moves a lot better for them on offense. They've gone back to running some of the same things that they ran last year. I think maybe early in the year, you know, I don't want to coach his team, but I think he probably gave him a little bit more freedom than he's given them now, and now he's doing what he feels most comfortable doing, which is what you should do as a coach. And so he's you know, making sure the right guys get the shots and running stuff that he's very comfortable with. So they're a very good team. They're you know, they're at the top of our league for a reason.
You know, you talk about Marlon's leap of improvement the other night, how well he played in that game, and what did you see the difference in the way he played?
Well, I thought Marlon played like he's capable of playing. I think he was a lot more locked in. He's a lot more focused going into the game. I think he knew we needed him to play well, and quite frankly, we need him to play well for the next 2.5 months, or for as long as we keep playing. We need him to play extremely, extremely well. So I think he understood, what was at stake, and that he was going to have a larger role than he had been having. And, part of it is, too, he's just healthy and fresh. And, Coach Sean Eddy's done a tremendous job as our athletic trainer. He's done a phenomenal job, keeping him healthy. And Marlon's getting hour or 2 hours of treatment every day just to put himself in a position where he can practice and work out and then be able to play in games. So I think a lot of it he was healthy, he was fresh, and he made, like I always say, he made 2 or 3 plays that he's the only guy on the court that could make them. Obviously, the offensive rebound that he got at the end and got fouled, but even more important than that, they were in their 1-3-1, and we just kind of threw it up to him on the sideline. Against anybody else, that pass is out of bounds. He leaps up and catches it, skips it back to Skylar. They gamble for a steal on the skip pass, and Skylar drives it in and lays it in, and we're up 5. And those are huge, game-winning plays that Marlon, that Marlon makes.
Coach, going in the last game, 9 for 19 from behind the arc. How important is it going to be to be able to hit from behind the arc against Florida, really maybe open up the drive to the paint?
Well, I think anytime you can make threes, it opens things up. But that's not really our strength. I think we're like 230th, 231st in the country in amount of points we get from threes. So that's not really our deal. We try to be consistent and pounding the paint and drawing fouls and making things happen around the rim. But certainly teams are going to try to force us to shoot threes. I'm sure Florida's going to try to force us to shoot threes, and we've got to do a good job of taking the right threes. We're actually a pretty good shooting team, actually a very good shooting team, when we shoot the right type threes, when we shoot inside-out threes, penetrating pitch threes, when we shoot them off the bounce or we shoot them off of one pass and it's just around the perimeter. We don't make many, as most teams in college basketball don't. So, we've just got to be a little bit sharper and smarter with the threes that we take, and we've got to turn the bad threes into drives and fouls and layups and shots at the rim. Because even if you just shoot it in the paint, you got a lot better chance to offensive rebound. It helps your just a lot better things that can happen, irregardless of whether you make it or not. So we've got to shoot some better shots.
Coach, being the only team undefeated in the SEC, do you feel like this team deserves to be in the conversation for top 25? I believe this team didn't receive any votes.
I don't know. The poll came out yet?
Yeah.
27.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shows how much I know. No, we stumbled a lot in the non-conference. We've kind of been stumbling around a little bit. So that doesn't matter. There's a lot of season left. We've got quite a few conference games left, and so we can't worry about any of that.
Will, I don't know your percentage for the season, but you obviously shot it well from the free throw line against Ole Miss. How important is that moving forward? How do you, continue that sort of rate at the free throw line moving forward?
Well, we just got to stick to our routines and keep working daily. That's something we spend quite a bit of time on, is driving in there and getting fouled and then being able to pay it off when we get fouled. You look at the game against Florida that we lost here last year. We shot it terribly from the free throw line. We gave up 7 points on baseline out of bounds. Little stuff like that when you get in the meat of conference schedule, when you play the heavyweights in the conference like Florida is. That's the difference in the games, is how well you can shoot it from the free throw line. Can you win baseline and sideline out of bounds? Can you get a few loose balls? Can you take a charge? That sort of thing becomes difference makers. And so we've got to work at all of that. But part of our identity offensively is being able to drive it in there and get to the free throw line, and we got to be able to pay it off when we make them foul us and get to the line.
Coach, they're coming off that win over Auburn, who's ranked top 5 in the country. And you mentioned defense is maybe the most important thing they do, and how do you, deal with that, especially in the game?
Well, they're a really balanced team. They have the number 1 offense in the conference right now, and through 5 conference games, they've got the best offense in the conference. So they're shooting the ball well. They're shooting 38% from 3 in the league. They've got a tremendous, big kid in Blackshear, and Omar Payne's playing really well. He had a double-double, 19 and 11 or 19 and 12 against Auburn. Did a tremendous job cleaning up the glass, and Locke's hitting threes, and Lewis is coming on. And Johnson, a kid who they started most of the year last year, has been coming off the bench for him and giving them great minutes. And so, they're very, very dangerous offensively just because they have a lot of weapons, and they screen well, they cut hard, they move. They've got good schemes. And then, defensively, they've been doing a lot of switching lately in conference. They switched almost everything against Auburn, and Auburn was very, 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 very stagnant. They went to switching more against Alabama as the game went on. They've switched some. They played almost every defense against Missouri and some of their other games. So, they're well coached, well schooled, well trained, and they're a very, very good team, both offensively and defensively. They have great balance on both ends of the court.
How do you deal with that? Sorry, how do you deal with that? What do you do as a team?
To handle,
Like to deal with that amount of scoring that they have and on it,
I mean, you got to pick your poison. You got to figure out who you think you can stop. Do you have a one-on-one matchup you can win anywhere defensively? Do you have a one-on-one matchup or matchups you can win anywhere offensively? And how can you keep the ball moving and create seams for your guys to drive the ball against their switches, or if they end up pushing ball screens like they did against us last year? How can we react and get the ball to the second side quicker? And so, one thing about them is you got to, they do an excellent job. They're going to find a weak spot where you haven't prepared for. You've got to prepare for 3 or 4 different ball screen coverages. You've got to prepare for a bunch of different baseline out of bounds stuff that they run. Like I said, they hammered us on it last year here. You've got to prepare for all their weapons on offense. And so, he's going to spend the first 10, 12 minutes of the game feeling out where's the weak spot where you didn't, where's the spot where you're a little bit exposed, where you haven't been as prepared maybe as you need to be. And so that's what we're trying to spend the next, 24 hours, 36 hours before the game doing, is shoring up the weak spots to make sure that we don't leave any of ourselves exposed, and that we're prepared for what they're going to throw at us.
Yes,
You kind of touched on Marlon, but Andre Hyatt also had a big second half for you guys in that last game. It seems like whenever he's on the floor, that the team kind of has a little bit of an extra energy boost. Do you see that, and where do you think it kind of most helps you guys when he's on the floor?
Yeah, he's one of the few guys. He's a two-way player. He plays both ends of the floor. He's obviously came in as a big-time offensive weapon, being able to shoot the ball, and he's shooting the ball a lot better, shooting it with confidence. For him to be able to make that three, we hadn't had a guy make a three off a screen like that on the side out of bounds play in a long time. We didn't even screen very well on the play, and he still got it off and made it turn. To be able to shoot the catch like that, it's very, very difficult. Shoot the turn, and he can do that, and we hadn't been able to kind of get him going yet, but he's done that. He gives our guys confidence, and then defensively, he covers up a lot of mistakes. He's always in the right place. He helped over, and Ole Miss bounced it off their chest. Buffin did a couple times. He's always in the right spot. We're a lot better team when he's out there. And the other thing he's brought us is he's big, and he's been a lot more physical and tough maybe than I probably gave him credit for in the preseason. And so he's found a way to make plays, and when he's out there, the scoreboard usually moves in a really, really good direction for us, whether or not he's hitting shots or not. Other teams tend not to score as much, and the ball moves on offense. He doesn't hold the ball. If he doesn't have a shot or a quick drive, he's going to pass it and cut, or pass it and move and find the open spot. So he's a real cerebral player, very, very good player. And, you forget he's only a freshman. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. He's coming off a couple of knee injuries. I mean, we didn't even know if he was going to be able to play this year. And so we're getting, he's been absolutely huge for us. And, hopefully, in a perfect world, we can keep him playing at a high level and continue to get him 18, 20 minutes a game, and him continue to grow, and keep Marlon playing at a very high level. And then when we add, when you add Manning back in another couple weeks, now we've got some real depth. We've got a real team. We've got a really good team. And so that's the hope. Can we keep Hyatt playing well and keep Marlon playing well, and then be able to add Charles back and got a really good 8-9-man rotation? You can throw Bishop or Coop and Marshall in there certainly when we need to, and so that's that's what we're hopefully building towards as we come down the stretch.
Coach, you've got a couple guys on your roster that are from Florida. Do Emmett and Darius ever talk about this game, that this is one they look forward to, almost that they missed out on them?
Oh, I don't know. I think those two look forward to every game. Days loves to play, and Emmett loves to play. So I think they're excited about playing anybody.
Coach, sort of a lighthearted one here. No suit in Oxford. Is that something you plan on continuing road games? What was
No, I
the
did
suit
that
choice?
because I told our guys, they were doing the red out, and our guys were in the white uniform. So I told us I'm going to wear white with you, and I had a big choice to make between that one or the little windbreaker I brought. So I brought that. I wore the it was pretty comfortable, actually. It was actually very comfortable. I can see why people do it. I may have to do it again. It was hot in there. It was like they had the heat on in there. It was everybody who was there shaking there. It was toasty in there. So I should have gone with the windbreaker. It was a little bit lighter, but I kind of liked it on the road. It was good. But no, I did it just because we're doing a white out, and I told our guy, hey, look, I'm going to be in there with you. We're going to be in white. We're the only, that sort of thing.
Mike Harney, you were pretty close on your phone screen. Remember the score you gave us?
Yeah, it was pretty close. 2 points off, I believe. Yeah.
Coach, the last couple games, Javante looks like he's been taking smarter shots, and he's been hitting.
No pun intended.
It should work.
So,
We'll wait till later, see if it comes on. See if
Yeah, I
it
mean, he's
fixes
got to
it.
keep playing at a high level. When Javante plays well and plays at a high level like he's been playing, we're a much better team. He's quicker.
They gave me 16 hours.
He's been making really, really good decisions for us, and when he does that, it helps our whole team out. Another area he's really improved in is defensively. He's guarding people. He's being able to.
I think it's 25.
He did a very good job on Isaiah Joe. We put him on Tyree for a little bit. Marlon did a phenomenal job on Tyree. He was the only hope we had to even slow Tyree down. But Javante's improved on both ends of the floor, and when you're point guard and when he plays well, your team's going to be quite a bit better.
Yeah, well, how do you, I guess, let Javante be himself, enthusiasm-wise, but still not, go over the line, or the officials say he goes over the line when
YouTube on
it's a
Facebook.
natural basketball back and forth, and you talking back and forth with each other during the
Yeah,
game?
we got to cut that out. We can't have that. If we'd lost the game, those 2 free throws
Facebook and,
were
Twitch.
critical. So we've got to be able to
use those.
cut that out and let our play doing the talking. But like you said, he's an emotional player, and I tell him all the time, I'd rather tell you whoa than go. So I'd rather reel you back in than have to stir you up and give you a little pop and give you a little motion. So, that's one thing I love about Javante. I love about Emmett. I love about those guys is that they're emotional, they're into it, they want to win,
After we do the
and
show.
he made some big shots.
Sandwiches, so.
Not to harp on the negative, but it's kind of back-to-back games where Darius has found himself in a little bit of foul trouble. I guess
Yeah.
if you guys looked at that, the film.
Yeah, we've looked at it, and we're working through that with him and working on it. And he's frustrated and should be frustrated, and we'll keep working through it. And I think he'll be fine. He hadn't really crept up until the last couple of games. We've been pretty good up until the last couple of games, and so we'll continue to work with him and watch film and show him some areas where he probably needs to pick his battles a little bit wiser, and is crashing this time worth the opportunity cost with the foul. And so we've talked to him about it. Me and him watched film yesterday for a long time together, one-on-one, about that and some other things. And as he always does, he'll respond well. He'll be ready to go.
Okay, Coach Mike White for the Florida Gators will be up next. So we'll have the breakdown. So we go ahead and switch this over. Okay, Mike White, the head coach of the Florida Gators, he will discuss Florida's preparation for LSU tonight, 6 p.m. If we can get the live stream fixed on Sportscaster, we will have it on Sportscaster. So let me go ahead and switch this over. turn that down because they don't want to get popped with copyright restrictions. There it is. Okay, Mike White, coach of Florida.
How difficult it is now with Omar emerging with the front line of Omar, Blackshear, and Keontae. Would you talk about how his emergence is helping your front line?
Yeah, and anytime you have anyone elevate their play, it helps you for sure, regardless of position. Especially with this group, the more that the freshmen can contribute to KJ and the sophomores and Dante, the better we're going to be. And so it happened to be Omar the other day that really shined, and we hope that continues. Could be different guys on different nights, but he's worked really hard. And when he's playing that well, and with the growing experience, I guess, of Keontae, complemented by Blackshear's talent and experience, it gives you a pretty good front line.
Did you notice a pep in the step of the team yesterday? Did they seem like a little more confident, bolstered a little bit by that performance?
Not really, Edgar. We didn't do a lot physically yesterday. We're just
Just attitude.
Nick just sent me a message.
good attitude, good focus in film. Shot it well. Seemed to be in good spirits yesterday. We'll get after it today. We started a couple weeks ago backing off just a little bit with our intensity level and especially the duration of the intensity level just this time of year.
Is that something you'd like to see? Not getting overly confident after just one win?
Do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's over. It felt really good for a little while, for about an hour.
Do a
and
speed test.
we're moving on.
Run. I do it.
Moving on
For me,
to the
and run.
Tigers.
Speed
We've
test
got our
real
hands full.
quick.
They're really good, of course, leading the league.
Receive results.
As talented as probably any team in the country, and playing really well, best offense in our league. So just got to move on, and then after we play them, we got to move on to the next one.
Like you've won
Don't
5
have
of
to do a
6.
speed test.
Is there anything you put your finger on that maybe these guys are doing right now that
What to do a speed test?
like figuring out maybe a little bit?
I think that our ball security
What we'll
has gotten
do-
better.
What we'll do, we'll probably
Our
do
shot
it later.
selection
We'll
has
run
gotten
the
better.
speed test
Our
later
movement
on
of
this
the
evening.
basketball. We've gotten better on the offensive glass, Omar being a big part of that, of course. Even Keontae's gotten better, too. Overall, I think our confidence level has increased
We'll
a
run the
little
speed
bit.
test later because I don't want to.
Defensively, I think we were taking steps in the
That's why we
wrong
went back to
direction there until
restream
the other
to
day.
set up.
So nice to see us defending the way that we're capable of doing
Went back to
as well.
restream.
Would
So.
you consider the Auburn game maybe the best game combination of both offense and defense that you've had all year?
Yeah,
Went back to
definitely.
restream
Yeah,
for a little bit. So.
definitely.
We just
And
don't-
there's
I
still
just don't
stuff,
want to get in a
obviously,
lot of
that
trouble.
we've got to get better at. And
Two people. Looks
I'm
like
not
the
sure it was Auburn's best output either.
We'll run a
the
speed
best
test.
outing,
We'll make
rather,
sure
but,
everything is.
We played well.
Run
They
it.
played well. I mean, it defended a top 5
We need
team
to
at a high
run that.
level and got into it
But we'll wait till later on.
as decent
We'll
of an
start
offensive
doing it
rhythm as you
before.
get into against that
see,
type
if we
of
do the
defense.
game
It's just so
tonight, we'll
disruptive.
start doing it
Wish we could have a few of those turnovers back, but
before the game.
we did enough.
So we'll
Played,
do it after.
played really well.
Before the game tonight.
We've got to continue to
I'll run a speed
get
test
better, though,
because
of
to make
course.
sure
It's
everything is
LSU
on
doing well.
correctly.
It's
'Cause
only
we-
undefeated team.
sometimes
yeah,
might
they're
be,
fantastic in a lot of areas. They
it
get,
might be your internet
getting to the foul
going
line,
slow.
converting free throws at a really high clip.
because we should have
They are
we having problems.
Arguably the best offensive rebounding team in our league. I think they're leading our league in offensive efficiency. Their 2-point percentage is off the charts. I mean, they've got guys off the bench that are really good. Of course, their starting 5 offensively is just terrific, and defensively they're disruptive as
See,
well.
if we
They
don't,
change
see if we
defenses.
we run like this
play hard.
tomorrow,
They're really good.
we will
Gotta
we
be. I
will
know I've
run
said this a couple
on,
times this year, but
but I won't
gotta
have
be as
the game.
underrated
I
a
won't have.
backcourt
I won't.
as we'll
I'll
see.
call the game, but I won't
Their
have
starting
the,
guards are terrific.
broadcast
mentioned
on
that
until we
one of your
get back
guys,
on
Chase
sportscast
Williams,
because
did against Auburn.
look, I don't want to be getting
Getting better,
copyrighted.
especially the freshmen. I think Quez and Trey,
That's the
their
problem
rebounding
with that
responsibilities
shit.
have
Nick would-
improved a little bit.
Nick allows,
we've got to help defend our glass
Sportscaster allows
with all
you
5
to,
guys, really.
live stream
There was
with
a couple long
they allow
rebounds
you to
that we could
live
have
stream
tracked down better. We can't just stand
your
and watch
videos
collectively.
in
I'm sorry,
your
you
broadcast.
had another question?
They allow you to do that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we
See,
want to get out in transition.
YouTube, they
We've
would
gotten
not let
better
me do it.
in transition offense. I would say it's our strength, but we're picking our spots and we're improving in that area. And especially when your guards can corral those long rebounds, it gives you a chance with some numbers in transition.
Did you say that you felt like you were taking steps back until a couple of days ago?
Defensively, yeah. I think our guys were geeked up for that game, of course, and you know, kind of a renewed attention to detail. And Auburn had our attention, of course, you know, as LSU should, and really every single opponent should. But we got back right defensively. You know, I don't know that it'd be hard to force those numbers again, you know, night in and night out, but played really hard and had a solid commitment to the defensive end in our last one.
How big a step was that for Trey Mann? I mean, he really got overshadowed in that game, but played pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Trey, he's walking around smiling a little bit. I think he feels pretty good about himself, and as he should. That's as well as he's played, both defensively and offensively. His activity, his confidence level, his body language, he looked like he took a step, and we need more steps from all these freshmen. But glad to see that version of him, and hopefully he can build upon that.
What's the challenge of going on the road again? Last road game, not so memorable.
Wasn't real pretty. They're all challenges in this league. They're all difficult. They're all different teams and programs, of course, styles of play, environments. We went down there and last year and had some success, of course. Played them 3 times last year, 3 great college basketball games against those guys. If we play well, if we play really well, we're going to have to play really well. It should be a really good game. Hopefully that's the case, you know, where you just have a chance late in these road games in league play. But we're going to have to play really well.
I know it's looking ahead, but exciting to have the #1 team in the country coming in here.
Yeah, LSU. I mean, you're kidding me? It's going to be so difficult.
It's a rare thing, though. I guess it's the only team Mark looked it up. The only team that's been in here #1 is Kentucky ever.
Oh wow, it's crazy. We'll look at them a little bit midweek.
Talk about what Omar does for you defensively when he's playing at a.
Let me see if it's still running. Check up on these videos. Check up on this. Yeah, they sending data, but they're not. They're sending data. We only got 3 running. You know, we got Facebook and yeah. So yeah. So let's get back to that coach's press conference.
High level, and
Yeah.
you've got and you're able to move in pieces in and out of the line.
It gives us more versatility. We still need to improve our depth at the 5 and at the 4. We don't really have a conventional 4, of course, but it allows for different ways to play, of course. And then defensively, he's still got a ways to go as well. I mean, I don't know that he can do much better offensively than he did the other night, going 9 for 9. But you know, his skill level will continue to improve, and he'll continue to work. But defensively, his ceiling to me is even higher, and he's got much room for improvement. He really moves feet, great length, just the understanding of how to defend without fouling, when to wall up, when to alter a shot, when to try to block a shot, verticality, all those type things. Ball screen defense, transition defense. His communication will continue to improve. But he's a work in progress. He's a talent, and when he's that active on the offensive glass, and when he is a presence defensively, obviously we're better.
Coach, how's Keontae doing? I think on Saturday he was hobbled a bit.
Who? I'm sorry.
Keontae.
He's fine. Yeah. I'm racking my brain. I haven't heard anything from Duke. I think he's fine. He worked out this morning and seemed physically healthy. You know, I think he's in a pretty good place mentally too. He's got to maintain his motor and continue to to play like an experienced guy for us, because there's not many here, of course, but he's got to play older, as do all the sophomores.
Okay, that was Coach Mike White, the coach of the Florida Gators. I'm going to tell you, this game right here, this is going to be a very excellent game between Florida and LSU tonight. It's going to, look, right now LSU is undefeated in the Southeastern Conference right now. And I'm going to tell you, look, Florida is not going to be easy. So let's go ahead and give you the breakdown of Florida and LSU. So let me see if I can hear myself. I don't know if I can. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's switch this over. We'll switch it over back to the screen. So let me get this over. Okay, this is from Don Best Sports. Don Best Sports is the best website to for sports handicapping and stuff like that. So go to if you want to follow college basketball, NFL, or whatever, go to donbestsports.com. That's donbestsports.com. So let's begin breaking down LSU and Florida. I'm going to go ahead and go through the specifics of this game. Okay, specifics of this game. Overall stats right now. LSU scoring leads Florida 79 points. Florida is at 73, so 73 points. So it's a complete difference right there. Field goal shooting, LSU is at 48.1%. Florida is at 44.7%. The three-point shooting, LSU is at 31% in games, and Florida is shooting a little bit better at 33%. On the free throw line, Florida is at 71%. LSU is at 76% coming into this game. Also, rebounding, LSU has 37 rebounds. Florida has 35 in the game. Now, defensively, LSU gives up 69 points. Florida gives up 65. Let's see. Shooting-wise, LSU gives up 40%. Florida gives up 39.5%. On three-point shooting, LSU gives up 34%. Florida gives up 30%. The free throw line, LSU gives up 71%, and Florida gives up 70%. The rebounding-wise, LSU gives up 29 rebounds. Florida gives up 30.2 rebounds a game. Home and away stats. This is what we'll break down for you. Home and away stats. If you see them on my screen. Okay, LSU scores 78 points a game. That's 78.8. Florida is at 69.2. Field goal shooting wise, LSU is at 49%. Florida is at 42%. Also, three-point shooting, LSU on the home and away stats, it's only averaging 26.7% on three-point shots, and Florida at 31%. Free throw shooting, LSU is at 73%, and Florida is at 74%. That's a complete difference right there. On rebounding wise, LSU averages 38.8 point rebounds a game, 38.2, and let's see, Florida averages 30.8 rebounds. That's in that's in the home and away system. Now, in the last 5 games, LSU averages 77.2 points a game. Florida 80 points a game. Let's see, the field goal shooting, LSU is at 43%, 43-0. Florida is at 46.2. 3-point shooting, LSU is at 32%, Florida at 38%. So they do shoot a lot better in the last 5 games. Also, LSU is at 78% on the free throw line when it comes down to the last 5 games. Florida is at 76%. Let's see. Last 5 games on rebounds, LSU averages 38.6 and Florida 36.6. Now, let's give you the breakdown on the defense. LSU in the last 5 games gives up only 72.2 points a game. Florida 71.8. That's in the last 5 games. In depth, shooting wise, LSU is at 40%. Florida's at 40. Florida's at 41. LSU's at 40. So my apologies. 3-point shooting wise, LSU's at 37.3. That's on the they give up those 3-point shots. And let's see, Florida gives up 33.6. Free throw wise, LSU is at 73.1%. Florida's at 73.1. LSU's at 72.1. Also, let's see. Rebounding wise, LSU gives up 28.2 rebounds. Florida gives up 28.6 rebounds a game. So that is your last 5 breakdown. So let's go ahead and give you the ATS stat breakdown. So let's go ahead and give you those. Okay, Florida is in the ATS is 7-10-0. LSU is 8-1. But on the road, LSU is 3-3 on the road. Florida is 3-5 at home. Now, the over and under results, LSU is at 9-8 and Florida is at 9-8 as well. But the difference is on the road, LSU is 6-1 in the over and under, and also 3-7 for Florida. 3-5 for Florida. Excuse me, 3-5 for Florida at home. So that's the difference right there in the over and under. Okay, this is the last 5. Let's give you the last 5 games. Let's give you those last 5 breakdowns. Okay, the last 5 games for LSU, they're 5-0. Florida is 4-1. But the only difference, LSU on the road is 4-1. That's in the last 5 games, and the straight up now Florida at home is 4-1. Now in the last 5 against the spread, this is against the spread. LSU is 1-3 against the spread in the last 5 games, but on the road they're 2-2. LSU, the Florida Gators are 3-2 in the last 5 games against the spread. Now in the last 5 games in the over and under, this is the over and under. LSU is 4-1 in the over and under. On the road, they're 4-1 on the road, but Florida in the over and under is 3-2, but they're also 2-3 when the last 5 games when they're at the over and under status. Now ATS. This is against the spread, where the LSU scores when it's at 75 points, LSU is at 3-2. Also, when it's at 75 plus, LSU is 1-3. And when it's below 75 plus, LSU is 2-3 in that area. Now, on rest, this is what we talk about right here. On 1 day of rest, Florida is 1-0. LSU is also 1-0. Now on 2 days of rest, Florida is 2-1 record on 2 days of rest, and also 2-1 against the spread. Also LSU is 3-2 and 1-4 against the spread. So that's in the win-loss column and also against the spread. Now, on 3 days of rest, LSU is 4-1. Florida is 3-2 against the spread. LSU is 2-2, and Florida's 2-3. So that is your breakdown right there in the last 5 games during the weeks. So let's go ahead and give you another breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and give you another ATS overall. Let's give you an ATS breakdown here. Okay, ATS breakdown. This is the situation. This is, okay, as favorites said, the underdog, Florida, between 1 and 2.5 points is 2-1. Also, Florida in the favorite category between 3 and 5 points is 2-2. Also 5 and 7, they're 1-1. Also 7 through 9, so they're 0-1. LSU is 1-1. Also, when LSU and Florida, when it's a 10 to 12 point Florida is 1-0. Also, let's see, between 12 and 14 points, it is 0-1 for Florida and 1-1 for LSU. That is the when point spread is between 17 and 19 points, Florida is 0-2, and LSU is 0-1. Now, when the point spread is between 20 and 24 points, both teams are 1-1. So that's your situations right there. Okay, this is the okay situations. This is the let's see what the abbreviation is. AW. LSU is 6-5, and Florida is 4-7. AOW. This is we don't. This is I think against the so AOW. LSU is 5-7, and Florida is 3-4. So that's your breakdowns right there going into games. Okay, this is the over. This is the above and below 500 opponents. LSU is 5-8 when it's above 500 opponents. So that's above 500. Florida is 6-5. Now, when they're below 500, LSU is 3-0. That's on the over. LSU is 3-0 at home. Florida's 1-2 in the over, and also at home. So, okay, let's give you the when they play it during the day. LSU is 4-1 during the day. When Florida plays at during the day, they're 3-5, so they kind of have not a good record there. Now, when they're playing at night, LSU is 4-7, and Florida is 4-5. Now in conference play, Southeastern Conference play, Florida is 3-2. LSU is 1-3-1. That's when you that's over the ATS overalls. So, okay, as an underdog, let's give you an underdog breakdown. This is the as an underdog breakdown wise. LSU scores in the first half. They score 79 points. Second half, they score 40 points in the second half. So it's in the second half they score. First half they score 40. So a total of 79 points. So first half they score 40. Florida scores in the first half 26. So they do score 26 points in the first. So the second half will be match up. LSU scores 39.3 points a game, and Florida scores 36.0 points a game. Now on the field goals, LSU shoots 48.6%. Florida shoots this as an underdog. Now 3-point shooting, Florida is as an underdog. They're shooting 23%. Now LSU as an underdog shoots 44% from the 3-point line. Now free throws, LSU as a underdog shoots 80%. Florida shoots 66.7% in games. Now on the assist and turnover ratio, it's LSU at 0.69 and Florida at 1.20. So that's the breakdowns we're giving you in this broadcast. So this is as an underdog. Let's see. Let's give you more information. I'm gonna pull these up. Okay, this is scoring. We'll go ahead and give you the scoring breakdown. Win-loss column when scoring. LSU. So we're going to go all the way down. Florida scores is 0-1 when they score 40 to 55 points. LSU, on the other hand, is 1-2 when scoring 55 to 70 points. Now, Florida, when they score 70 to 85 points, Florida is 8-1. Also, when LSU scores 70 to 85 points, LSU is 7-2. So that's amazing records right there. So those records is not So let's give you some more breakdowns. Okay, when LSU and Florida scores 85 points, Florida is 2-0. LSU is 5-0. So when they score 85 plus, they're 5-0. Okay. Okay, scoring. Let's go ahead and give you some more scoring breakdowns. LSU, when they score between 55 and 70, they're 0-2. They're also 0-3. But Florida, when they score 55 to 70, that's on the ATS side. They're 1-4 overall, 1-2 at home. Also, when Florida scores 70 to 85 points, they're 5-4 and also 2-2 at home. Now LSU, when they score 70 to 85 points, LSU's 5-3 and also 2-1 on the road. Now when LSU scores, or Florida scores between 85 plus. That's 85 points plus. That's 85 going all the way up to 100 and something. Florida is 1-1 overall, also 1-1 at home. LSU, when they score 85 plus, is 3-2, and also 1-1 on the road. Now, okay, let's go ahead and give you these breakdowns here. This is when allowing. This is on defensive side of the basketball. Okay, when Florida allows 40 to 55 points, they're 2-0. Also, LSU is 2-0 as well, but they're also 2-0 at home. That's when they score 40 to 55 points. Also, when Florida allows 55 to 70, so they allow 55 to 70 points a game. Florida is 9-3. They're also 6-2 at home. Also, LSU is 6-0 when allowing 55 to 70 points a game. They're 6-0 and also 1-0 on the road. Now, when LSU and Florida scores between 70 and 85 points, this is the breakdown we give you. They're 0-1. Florida's in that area. Also, LSU's 4-4, but also LSU is 2-3. Now, when records when they allow 85 plus, that's 85 plus. Florida is 1-1. LSU is 1-0, but also LSU is 1-0 when allowing 85 points a game. This is on the ATS side. When Florida allows between 40 and 55, they're 2-0. LSU is also 2-0 overall at 2-0 at home, but also when Florida allows 55 to 70 points. That's 55 to 70 points. Florida is 5-7. LSU's 4-2, but also 1-0. That's when they allow 55 to 70 points. But when it comes down to 70 to 85 points, Florida is 0-1. LSU is 2-2, but they're also 2-5. Now, but when the scoring comes down to 85 points plus, when they allow 85 points plus, Florida is 2-0. 0-2, excuse me, 0-2. My apologies. But in the overall record, LSU is 0-1. So I'll be honest with you, that's how they match up these performances when they do score or allow points in games. So let's go ahead and give you the breakdowns. This is a matchup right here. LSU is 13-4, 5-0 coming in. Florida is 12-5 and 4-1 in the SEC. Freshman Omar Payne adds to Spark. He had a season high 19 points. So they also got let's see. So the game, let's see. They also have 11 rebounds. 6'10" forward also shot 13 for 13 from the field. So they're going to have some quality guys that's going to shoot the ball big time for Florida. So Florida, Southmore, Noel Locke averages 10 points a game. He also averages 41.5 from the field. He also shoots 18 for 35, so he did shot 18 for 35. LSU Marlon Taylor averages 13 points versus Ole Miss. He has 6 rebounds. LSU enters the week with their second rebounding in the plus category. Also, Florida is at plus 5.5. Okay, your player stats, the main guys. Let's go ahead and give you those player stats. I'm going to give you some stats on Florida. Pull this up for you. Okay, your main Florida, your main scorer is Blackshear for Florida. He has 14.8 points a game. That's Blackshear. Assists is Newhard. I think his name is also Johnson. Is averaging 53.8% from the field. So let's give you the whole LSU, the Florida players. Okay, Blackshear says 14.8. Johnson 12.7. Newberhard, I'm saying his name right, has 10. Locke has 10 as well. So that is your for the Florida Gators. So they got some people in double figures and that can score, shoot the ball. So they got some very good consistent 3-point shooters as well. That knocks down the shots. So LSU has to contain these guys because I'm gonna tell you that last game against Ole Miss, they couldn't contain those Ole Miss guys for anything in the world. They was just kept making shots after shots after shots after shots. So they have to contain them if they're gonna win this game against Florida tonight. So that's the main concern right there is total containment of those players that's making it hitting shots for Florida. So okay, once again, thanks for joining us here on Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show. Here on Restream, we had the we had to come here back here to Restream to do our show. It's just that hopefully we can get Sportscaster up and running again for tonight. So we'll have if we're back on Sportscaster, we will be back on Sportscaster for the game tonight, Florida and LSU. That will be on SEC Network. We'll live stream. We can't do it on here because we don't want to get copyrighted by YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch. So once again, we will be back on Sportscaster tonight. So once again, thanks for joining us for this show here on Restream. So we'll be back on Sportscaster later on tonight. So everybody have a good rest of your Tuesday afternoon, and we'll be back later on Sportscaster.